for this visual representation of my data. No, I don't want to see it there. It takes up too much space. My axes, I could choose to show the axis without the labeling. I could choose to show the right to left axes, and now it's updated the way that this is displayed. Perhaps I'd like to see major grid lines. Perhaps I'd like to see major grid lines vertically as well. Perhaps I'd like to see minor grid lines. It's all up to you. You really can make some serious editing changes here. I could even change the way that the chart wall looks, or the chart floor here, shadowed or not shadowed. I do have another tab. It's the Format tab here, which really allows me to make some more changes. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so we can see this information. And I can make a selection. Again, I've got Nancy Wilson, and here I can go back and choose how I'd like this to look. Maybe I want it to be brown. Do I want an outline or not? It depends on the type of chart that you have, again, and whether you're printing or not. Some of these won't display all that well with how small this chart is, and some of them will not make a difference if you're going to be printing these out. I have my shape styles here. Oop, that's a little bit too close to red. It can be a little bit overwhelming when you get in here, so I hope what you're gathering from this is that the key is know what data you want to represent, select the item within the chart, and then choose whatever formatting item you want. And you can always do reset to match style to bring it on back to how you were. If I decided I didn't want those, I could right-click on them and choose Delete. I could also go back to my Layout tab and choose No Data Labels. Oh, I have to select the right area. Plot Area, Data Labels, None. Let's go ahead now and create a pie chart. When you're creating a pie chart, you have to think about it a little bit differently because you're looking at a percentage of the whole. So you can only compare a couple pieces of information. Like if I were to have all the salespeople and all the quarters, it wouldn't be able to really figure out, well, what percentage are we looking for? What the quarters were of the whole, or what Nancy was versus Ann versus Martin. So let's go ahead and just select Nancy's quarterly information. Step 1, select the range, go to the Insert tab, and we'll choose a pie chart. We have these to choose from. I'll just choose a regular old 3D pie chart. Looks pretty good. It's embedded. Just like before, I have these 3 tabs. I can change the design of it, and it is embedded. I would like to move this to another sheet. This is another way to do this. I can choose New Sheet, and I'll call this Nancy's Quarterly Sales. I spelled it correctly? Okay, now I'm on a new sheet called Nancy's Quarterly Sales. I see the breakout of the legend. Of course, I could increase the size of that so it's a little bit easier to read. And I see the breakout. I might even like to go to the layout and do some data labels. I'd like to see, oh, how about data labels and position with best fit, or I could even go to more data labels. I'd like to show the leader lines, and I'd like to see percentages and values, and I'd like to see that as currency. Actually, it's got currency and percent, so that might mess it up. It is. I can see I've got dollar signs there. I'll just choose general, and it'll do dollar signs and that. And let's see, fill, that's fine. I don't really need, that doesn't make sense because I'm adjusting the label, so I'll choose close. But I am going to right-click on these and choose to make them size 28. Now I see a little bit different there. And if I wanted to, I could drag them to be a little bit more on top of that item there. All right, so here's Nancy's information. I'm looking at a 3D pie chart, so I can select it, I can right-click, and I can choose 3D rotation. And that gives me a little bit of play. If I do it up, I'm kind of rotating it a little bit while changing the perspective. I can make my y-axis up a little bit. I can change my x-axis. It's really just rotating and adjusting the way that it looks on the screen. I can always reset it back to the way it was if I had changed the distance from the ground, which was grayed out. I could go back to default rotation, which takes it back here. And now I do see my leader lines a little bit. I'll choose close, and you can see, it's okay. It's okay. If I'd like to, I can go and insert a text box. Then actually, I could type on here, good job, Nancy. And I can select that, move it around. I can get in there, select the text. I can change the size of the text as well. So hopefully you're seeing this goes with the same flow. Select what you want to make the change to. Either right-click on it to see what it is you can do at that specific point in time, or go back to Format, and you can format the selection, or work with other items. Maybe I want a quick style on this. That changes the way that it looks. Here are other quick style items. I can have a glow, kind of a red glow to it. Ooh, I'm just wrecking this pie chart. To prove my point, I'm going to go back to sales numbers, and I'm going to show you what a pie chart looks like if you have too much data involved. I selected my range. I'll go to Insert. I'll go to Pie Chart. I'll just choose a 2D pie chart here. And it says, I'm so confused. What are you looking for? I've got salespeople for you for Q1. That's the best I can do. I can't do salespeople Q1, Q2, Q3, etc. Let's do one more pie chart. I have my territory, east, north, south, west. Well, I'd like to look at just my, we haven't done anything with our south, have we? Let's make a pie chart out of that. I'll do Insert, Pie Chart. Maybe I'd like to see two little pie charts here, so I can see my breakout regarding my south total. What it's done here is it has my Q1, it has my Q2, and then here it's combined my Q3 and Q4 here. My Q3 and Q4 have been broken out into a little mini pie chart. I'm going to delete this pie chart. Whoops. I'm going to delete this pie chart. And let's make another one. I still have my range selected. I'll choose Insert, Pie, and let's go ahead and choose this one right here. And it's broken it out. So automatically, my audience is going to notice this is the biggest, and it's right here. These are all separate pieces. If I wanted just to move this green one, I could drag it. I could drag this. I could put it all back together if I wanted to. Or I could just call out this one. Hey everybody, Q1 is small. Why in the world is Q1 small? Let's go back to Layout, insert a text box, and say, what happened in, enter, Q1? Wouldn't that be great to get this from your boss? Am I in trouble? Sorry about that. I'll go ahead and choose delete to delete this chart as well. The last thing I want to show you is the quickest shortcut ever. Again, step one, you select your range, and then you can use the keyboard command F11, that function 11 key. F11, bam, new chart, new sheet. And I can, of course, change the style however I'd like it. Add a label if I want to. Change where the legend is. Do whatever it is that I need to do in order to make this a chart that is easily understood by my audience. We covered it. We embedded a chart. That means that that chart is right there on the same active worksheet tab, but of course you could always move it or cut it and paste it elsewhere. We inserted a chart sheet. It's right-clicking on a sheet tab to insert a chart instead of inserting a typical worksheet. We changed the chart type. You saw how many charts are in there, both two-dimensional as well as three-dimensional. If you add a three-dimensional chart, you can always modify the orientation to make it a little bit easier to read. And then we spent some time in there. We went to the Design tab, the Layout tab, and the Format tab. Each one of those allowed us to choose which object in the chart we wanted to modify, and then gave us a whole slew of commands that aided us in giving our charts some visual appeal. I hope this has been informative for you, and I'd like to thank you for viewing.